All right.
Amateur Hour, episode 8, episode Ocho, take 2. We had a little tech diff the first time around, so we're going to go again. But been almost 2 months, 7 weeks, I think, since the last time we
Been a
got
long
together.
time.
Been a
Too
long
long.
time,
Good to see your
unfortunately.
faces.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
sir.
good to see you guys' faces. A lot to discuss here. Top of the list, I'd say, is still, for the last 6-8 weeks, Epstein Files or lack thereof. Got to get into maybe some theories, reasoning, what have you, on why the hell, what's the snag there, what's going on, why not, I don't know. A lot of questions there. I'm sure we can get critical of Donald Trump on that one. I know Carter's got on here in a minute, but a lot of good too, though. A lot of things we can talk about that's positive that
A
we're
lot of
happy
good
with.
happening.
A lot of good happening. But
Which
yeah, guys,
shouldn't have to be happening if all the bad didn't happen for so damn long. But that's neither.
but we're getting things squared away. Illegal border crossings are down to 0, literally, just about.
Yep.
Which is huge. Potential redistricting of a lot of congressional seats, territories that would significantly help the Republican Party, and by that, help the country as a whole, if you're asking me. So a lot of positives there. But nonetheless, the biggest news of the day, of the summer, has definitely been what in the world is going on with the Epstein Files or lack thereof. So
we got to talk about it.
We got to talk about
It's
it. It's
uncomfortable, but we got to talk about it.
One thing I will say here right now, though, and I think we all agree on this, and anybody who's fair-minded has got to agree on this. The Epstein file, if Donald Trump was in there doing something significantly nefarious, like underage girls or whatever, things like that, and there was evidence of that, that information would have been leaked in 2016, 2018, throughout his presidency,
100%.
2020 campaign, 2024 campaign, because there's not a politician or a person that's alive on this planet that the media and the Democratic Party and the Department of Justice at the time, under Biden and Obama or whoever, wouldn't have been willing to throw under the bus and completely destroy, if it meant destroying Donald Trump. So there's no way that is not a possibility, I don't believe. And I think any fair-minded person would agree with that. But with that said, for some reason, the details of Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes are not being, and his associates and the people that committed these crimes with him, is not being released. The question is why?
Yeah. Well, that is a great question. And as you know, I have plenty of theories around that. But I think I do want to start. I think the crux of the issue, because what I was getting into before our technical difficulties, was the most bizarre part of this is we all get propagandized. The left does, the right does. Like, there's so much going on, we don't know what to believe. And that's partly by design. The more confusion they can create, the more we can disagree with each other and fight while they tax us to death and do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is that for 20, 30 years, or however long this guy was doing what he was doing since the 90s, we've had politicians hooking up with young underage girls and then getting influenced to make policy decisions, whether it's on war, budgetary decisions, NGO fund, like whatever. They're getting influenced because they were filmed being pedophiles. Yep. So I have friends that it's almost like the COVID jab propaganda that everyone used to hate me for. Like, I can't believe you would say that. You're not my friend anymore. Now they're saying, I can't, even Republicans, I can't believe you care so. Why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? Oh, I've been called anti-Semitic. I've been called anything under the sun from people that are supposed to be my constituents or my conservative friends. And it's just bizarre to me. So red flags go up and I'm like, there's something more to this story. There's something going on. But like you said, what is it? I mean, I don't know. I try to simplify things, and guys, chime in whenever you want, because I know I'm talking a lot, but we all know that, that there is a lot of information that he was part of the Mossad. I won't go down that rabbit hole because we've done that in previous episodes. It all relates to Ghislaine Maxwell and her dad and all his history. There's actually more stuff now that's coming out. Ghislaine Maxwell has a sister who sold a bunch of data mining software to the FBI forever. And there's a lot to it that point to intelligence operations. So,
and speaking of Ghislaine Maxwell, I would like to know when the transcripts of her interview.
what did she say?
What did she say? Which was a week or so ago, something like that. Yeah. And she sat down with the DOJ for several hours throughout one day. What exactly did she say? Because she knows everything supposedly. So yes. There's a lot of questions that could. I mean, the entire ball of wax could have been answered in those 6 or 8 hours that she was interviewed by the DOJ. I mean, everything could have been. And so the question is what was said, and when is the public going to get to see the transcripts on that?
Yeah. The only thing they've released is that she said Donald Trump never did anything inappropriate.
Well, I mean,
which could just be made up. You don't even know what to believe.
Exactly. I don't really have a lot of interest in this. And, I watched that documentary, and pedophilia is one of the grossest, most pathetic things. I don't even have a child, but it's still pathetic. But let's start from the top. So Trump, he hires Pam Bondi and Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he hired.
They are both throwing it out there.
Before Bondi.
We'll get the Epstein list on day one. But Trump hired him, right? Mm-hmm. Then they come out. They look like fools. You've got Elon saying he's on the list. We know that this is just a big blackmail operation.
We also have. Sorry to interrupt you though, Tim. But we also have Dan Bongino, who's made some very interesting, kind of cryptic posts over the course of the last couple of weeks, saying that the stuff that he has seen has shook him to his core and fundamentally, changing the country and blah, blah, absolutely. And by all accounts, there is a rift between Bongino and Cash and Pam Bondi based on how this Epstein thing has been handled. The question is what is in there?
I don't think it's a matter of what is in there. I mean, there is something bad in there, but it's somebody or a group of people or different individuals that Trump needs, if he's the good president that we believe he is, to get done what he's going to get done. Because this is so intertwined and dark and deep and power hungry. We couldn't even begin to truly speculate of what this is. I mean, I haven't heard anybody with something. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it is, other than what we're saying right now. It's probably just Mossad with the United States. It's not anti-Semitic in any way. It's the United States.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's what I try to tell all these people that get super offended by my opinions. But
they're just dumb. They don't understand.
You're essentially mentioning the CIA. You're mentioning the CIA. Yeah. They're CIA. That's what it is. Yeah. So it's not. You're not saying. We're not saying Jews. We're saying their intelligence agency.
Well, the United States is a Christian nation. I mean, what are we talking about? And they're working in cahoots. I don't really care that much.
And I told them, here's what I say to people when they get upset. I'm like, I don't like our deep state. I don't care for our CIA. I don't care for our FBI. I don't care for the Mossad. And frankly, I very much don't like Bibi Netanyahu. And I can go down that rabbit hole if anybody cares. But the high level thing is that he wrote a book about the World Trade Center getting blown up before it happened. You can look that up. That's true. He even had interviews about it. He was in Congress since the 90s saying Iran had a nuke, was months away from even in the 90s. And he was the primary culprit for us going to war with Iraq over weapons of mass destruction, which also was not true. So I don't trust that guy. But it has nothing to do with Israel. It has nothing to do with the Jewish community. It's just, I don't like that guy. I don't like intelligence communities stirring up these nonsensical wars that just keep happening.
It's another example of how they pull on the heartstrings to get people to argue and do all this shit when it's just right there. It's not that hard to see that something's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about? It's not. I don't know. It just seems.
But I'm going to be
Yeah,
honest. In my opinion, Trump could end the Russia-Ukraine war, which there's been some news on that we'll get into here shortly. He could end world hunger, cure cancer. But if these people don't get in trouble for being pedophiles for 2 decades, like, fuck off. Like, I'm sorry for my language, but like, you're a failure in my opinion. I'm just saying, because if these people can't get in trouble for that, I mean, it is just going to continue. There's going to be other things that they're going to do. It's disgusting. And until we bring these people to justice, man, I'm sick to my stomach.
I think he's just trying to figure out how to do what's the matter at hand is, but also not disrupt everything by arresting these people. And we don't know how all that affects and what. And is it sick? It is.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping he's navigating that. I mean, I'm sick of hearing about even little things like Adam Schiff and Letitia James, not to get off topic, but why are we going after mortgage fraud? I mean, that's shitty, but didn't they commit treason?
Yeah.
What? What? Mortgage fraud? Schiff? And apparently he's a sicko. I don't really know.
Yeah.
That's just
Yep.
Al Capone. They're getting him what they can get him on. I don't know.
Yeah,
Nonetheless, though, like the bottom line is, I think the topic of this discussion is why. What like, and I think I would like to hear if you could pick out one reason why, Carter. What's the stumbling block? What's the reasoning on these things?
So the only thing I can, like, during all this, the past 5 years of this crazy life that we've lived and everything that's been thrown at us, the only thing that I choose to do is you hear the word pattern recognition a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think back on Trump campaigned heavily on exposing the Epstein list, said it multiple times. Now all of a sudden he's pulled back on it. But in the same instance, he is like Bibi Netanyahu's best friend for some reason. I have no idea why. I get it. They're our greatest ally. I looked it up. We've given them like almost 400 billion in aid since like the 90s or 80s or something. I think there's some entrenched thing with the Mossad, our CIA. There's a lot of intelligence coup involved, and he's afraid to expose it. Now, is there another step further where
I don't think that's surprising in any way. I think that's almost very apparent.
I agree. Maybe they think the Americans can't handle the truth.
That's where I just don't see. I'm like, maybe by exposing all this stuff, it just causes more crap and Trump can't get anything done. And I don't know what that means. And I'm not like somebody that's like, oh, I'm always Donald Trump's the best person in the world. I've had moments where I'm like, maybe this whole thing's fake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at it, it was like, it was a lot for it to all be fake. You know, there's a lot of shit happening. But anyway, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what I'm
saying.
Do you think
cozying up to Bibi the way he is a complete red flag to me? And I don't want to say Israel certainly has the right to defend itself. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. Like, I get it. Mm-hmm. But there's also some really bad things that are going on in Gaza. I mean, everybody sees the bombings. You saw the Green Beret guy that was on Tucker Carlson. And look, again, the same people that call me an anti-Semite got mad at me for talking about that. And I was like, so now I'm not supposed to trust a Green Beret? Like, now I'm just supposed to think that dude's going to come lie? Like, but that guy came and helped a kid out who was getting food, a Gaza kid, and watched him walk back to leave and watch the IDF shoot and kill him. Now, is there context to that? Like, was it an accident? I don't know. But like, regardless,
nonetheless, it's happening.
There's a lot of bad things happening in Gaza, and we're funding it. And like, there has to be some sort of middle ground here where people just, Trump's big on, I just want people to stop dying. He said that about Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
But he keeps coming to Bibi and tried to get him out of his international court appearance where he was getting tried for war crimes. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Even the other day, he tweeted against Canada Canada said they were ready to recognize Palestine as a state. Like, what's the big deal about? I don't understand. They're not like cozying up to Hamas. They're talking about the Palestine, the state that is rightfully theirs. And he goes, it's going to make it hard for me to do a tariff deal because of this. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, are we America first or are we Israel first? I'm America first before anything. Period.
Yeah. Period.
We can get into the whole biblical thing.
Right.
A lot of people will say, well, the Bible says you must protect Israel. He who protects Israel will be blessed. People interpret that differently. No one knows what that actually meant. I can tell you right now, God didn't tell Moses that and say, he who blesses Israel that the United States creates in 1948 and draws the borders will be blessed. He didn't say that.
No,
he was probably talking about the church and Christians and all
the
that.
People themselves. And the people themselves.
And the people themselves.
Not the government. Not the
Jesus
government.
Loved everybody. So
not the government. Not the Mossad. None of that. Yeah. I get it. I agree with you 1,000% on that.
I agree too.
It's a mystery to me right now. I don't think I really fully understand it. What you say, what you just articulated, Carter, I think it's tough to argue. It's definitely a possibility. I don't know if we're ever going to know the truth. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors that probably just going to bleed out for 4 years. That's what I think is going to happen with this. I don't think we're ever going to have breaking news and you're going to see a list of names that include a bunch of people that we know doing crazy stuff and they're going to go to jail. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Question is what's the reason behind it? And I don't know if we're ever going to get the answer.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath, but
yeah.
But,
we'll see. At the same time, though, I think you have people that you have, never mind Trump at the moment. Think about like Kash Patel and Bongino. I feel like that man, Bongino, more than anybody, he wants to say what he knows.
Yeah.
And I agree.
I think that he wants to say what he knows.
I'm shocked at Kash, though. Kash seems a little, I don't know if you guys watched his Joe Rogan episode, but man.
A little bit more passive. Yeah.
It just, I feel
there's definitely some things, there's a lot of aspects to this that I'm sure we have no clue about.
No clue. At the end of the day, the Epstein Island thing is accomplished. It's accomplishing what it was intended to accomplish, is to keep the deep state intact. Secrets from us, yada yada.
But what about though that they were
compromise against one another?
What about when they were like, "There's a video," and then we're like, "Well, you told us the cameras weren't working. Now you're saying there's a video," and then they're like, "Well, there's a minute missing," and then Pam Bondi's like, "Well, the cameras are old and they update, and every day there's a minute missing." It's like
that was just
what in the hell are you all talking about?
Flat out lie.
They honestly don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do right now. Obviously.
They've seen things and crossed some things that they probably didn't think about before they got those files, and now they're like, F.
Maybe it's just so atrocious and terrible they just don't think the Americans can.
I think there might be something to that, Carter. Like I think there's so many people on there. There's so many high-ranking people, from like I don't know who, but as big as it can get, down to Hollywood stars, down to
we had Prince, whoever over there,
all kinds of major financial CEOs, to where if this was to all come out, the top elite level of the entire country, never mind Republican, Democrat, would collapse. So there might be something to that. Like if all these people go down for,
I would love to see it. I would love to see.
You want to know the most craziest part of this whole thing, and you just made me think of it when you said that. The fact that Lex Wexner, the guy that owns, which
Victoria's
if anyone doesn't know who that is, I'm going to give you a 60-second rundown.
He's from Columbus, Ohio.
From Columbus, Ohio, owns Victoria's Secret, maybe some other clothing companies, which is weird in its own thing. Now that you know, he was the most prolific Epstein guy, had like tons of money invested with Epstein, gave Epstein his New York home, which was at the time the most expensive home in Manhattan. His neighbor was Howard Lutnick, by the way, who's Trump's like right-hand man. But probably nothing there. But anyways, why is that dude not in trouble? Like,
I don't even think he's been interviewed.
no, like, give me a break. And then did y'all see? I mean, I don't know if this is true. Again, you never know. But they said the other day he just paid a buttload of money and bought the Obama's Martha's Vineyard, the one where they killed. Well,
The one where they killed their chef,
the chef drowned, who apparently,
or however he got killed. Yeah,
in 3 foot of water. But if anything, that dude needs to be exposed or interviewed or something.
Yep. There's a lot of question marks, obviously. It would be great to get to the bottom of this. I don't know.
The biggest thing for me is just that they lied. If they had said, you know what, there's stuff in here, we've got to make strategic moves to be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish for America. All right, I got that. But
what's wrong with saying that, Tim? Like, they should just say that. If someone's transparent, they're going to be shitting their pants thinking about that. Like,
and that was why I really liked Trump. It felt like you were getting transparency, and that was.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there, for real.
Yeah, that's a problem.
If I was Trump, though, wouldn't you rather have that said and let the speculation run wild there than have all these people on Twitter and everybody else being like, he's on the list. He's on the list.
Anytime my kids do something wrong at home, I'm like, my garden shears are missing. I know one of y'all were playing with them last week. If someone can tell me, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a very easy tactic. Like, you're right, Venom. I mean, if they would just be transparent about it. The
whole thing, you could just feel that they were lying, and
like I don't even like when you hear like Hannity or someone, they're like, maybe he's just pretending like nothing's wrong so he can use this as leverage and da da da. I'm like, no.
I don't know.
Not the right play.
But yeah,
but we can move on from that. I know we want to at least.
Yeah, we can't solve it.
We got to give him some flowers for some things because he has done some good stuff for sure.
I think. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say you know more about some of this redistricting stuff than Venom and I.
Well, the potential, you kind of
gave us a rundown of that.
Yeah, the potential redistricting. A lot of these congressional districts. Trump's pushing for that, which, if he gets that done, could potentially result in we've heard this term before, but a real red wave in November 2026, 15, 20, 30 seats in favor of the Republicans. And I think, how do you argue that the census shouldn't be taken without the illegal immigrants in it? Why would you be surprised that Trump wants to do that?
Let's start with because I don't really understand this, as we discussed earlier. So you're talking about these districts are districts where congressmen reside and they represent those people. Is that both the
where they technically should reside? That doesn't always happen, but you know what right? But so you have there's 435 congressional seats in the country, and
those are both House and Senate seats.
No, so. The way that the founding fathers set this up is that California, being that it's the most populated state in the union, shouldn't, if there was only represented by population, they would significantly outweigh Oklahoma or Arkansas. So that's why you have the 2-house system. So every state has 2 senators, so it's equal, right? But then in order to, when you talk about California has, I don't know, X number of congressmen versus, let's say, Alaska, who's got a handful because of the pop. So the Congress, the state gets a number of congressmen based on population size. California has the most because we're the highest populated. Florida has a bunch. Ohio has a bunch.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has a couple, a few, and so on. So you understand that. So what they want to do is they draw lines in there, and they're constantly battling about this. I'll give you an example. In California, my district specifically, Mike Garcia was my congressman in the first Trump administration. He had a couple of, I think he won a couple times. Great guy. Like I said earlier, couple years older than us, not too much older than us, was a fighter pilot, a great businessman, ran for Congress in my district, won. The Democrats redrew the lines, the territory lines, the district lines. They took away Simi Valley, for instance, which is a slightly more Republican area, and they they redrew the district. And so he had Santa Clarita plus out east, which is, Lancaster area, which is more blue. He lost because of that. They gave that Simi Valley, that more red area, to another district that was solid blue, so it didn't affect that area. Therefore, California lost one of their red districts based on that. What Trump wants to do is redraw these lines throughout the country where certain districts, they're not taking into account illegal immigrants. So we don't have that aspect of things.
How can anyone argue against
How can anybody argue that? You're here illegally.
Well, because they make it sound like it's just so heartbreaking, which it kind of is, but it's not Trump's fault. It's the last administration's fault for welcoming them in.
Exactly.
Without promising them citizenship. That's where the true evil lies.
Who pays for all these Illinois Congress people to travel to Texas for a week and sit out or whatever?
That's the truth. Yeah. Weren't they going to issue arrests on those people? I think.
They were trying to.
The FBI is going after those people. That's
I think I just saw today, at least the mayor of Chicago in Illinois said that they got to raise taxes because they're out of money. And then these guys are out just probably charging that back to the state.
Yeah.
To walk out and have their little pity party.
On their government credit card, doing whatever they're doing while they're not voting like they should be. Yep, it's a problem. But that's one. I mean, Trump's making a push for that. We'll see if it gets done. Hopefully it does. And you can't sit here and say that that's not a good thing if you're a conservative person and that's one of the reasons you voted for Donald Trump. So we talk about the Epstein.
Were these lines drawn based on population?
That's how they get drawn up. Yeah.
So he's not manipulating anything. All he's doing is taking out, hopefully, illegals, non-citizens from the census.
Yep.
And so those lines will be redrawn based on actual citizen population.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so, I mean, when you think about, especially, I would have to think, I don't know this but it makes the most sense to me when you think about Texas and you think about, California and Arizona, all these districts that are all the states that are probably highly populated with illegal immigrants. And if you take a census without that, it's going to significantly adjust how those lines are drawn. And
so redistricting with the illegal, taking the illegals out, deportations down.
Illegal crossings have come to a screeching halt.
Another thing that isn't really policy related, but I'm really much enjoying all this woke crap being gone. I could go down the gauntlet of, we've gone from we need more windmills and batteries and blah, blah, blah. Now we're like freaking building data centers, and we're just like, let's just build all this crap, use all this energy for all the right reasons, it seems like. Yeah. But it's just funny, we've flipped on energy policy. All the woke crap is seemingly just, I mean, we saw Sydney Sweeney. I mean, look at that. I mean, she got accosted and no one cared. Everybody was like, shut up. She didn't do anything wrong. She just did an ad.
And there's nobody out there right now that you're seeing of any significance that's actually defending that idea that was a bad ad or that was,
nobody cares.
That has all gone. That is going out the window.
It's a great ad.
I can't believe she took the heat. She did.
It's ridiculous.
And it just blew up in all their faces.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's just like that TikTok I sent you guys today with the sorority girls in Georgia doing their little dance for their bid day. I mean, you didn't see that stuff the last 5 years.
No.
It was just nice. It's like, all right, normalcy, fun.
There was the one show I watch on MSM is just Jesse Waters. And I take some things he says with a grain of salt. But he had this sorority girl from the University of Alabama, and she was just going on and on about how things are back to normal. And she was even saying back in 2020, they were all getting in trouble for kicking out dudes that were trying to be in their sorority. Can you believe that?
That is absolutely insane.
Think
That was
about
even
when
a
I went to
possibility.
college, like you couldn't eat. I was a houseboy at a Chi Omega house, like, and I could only go into the kitchen and like a little restroom. That was it. Like if you went up, if you got caught upstairs, I mean, you would be in so much trouble. Like it's a sacred part. Like girls were, like, can you believe a dude? Like people would even argue that a man should be in a sorority house. Like,
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm glad all that's over.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over, but that really exposed a lot of people that have true issues. I mean, if you're defending that, then there's something really wrong with you. That's just weird. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend, but that's beyond.
You're brainwashed.
Yeah, except for Nancy Pelosi came out yesterday talking about it again.
Gosh.
Trans kids and different things like that. And
she's an idiot.
She's an absolute
She can hardly talk a complete
But aside from just the sentiment, like we talked about, like the feeling of wokeness, leaving or dying down, all that kind of thing. I mean, now you're looking like the NCAA and their new rules, as far as if you saw, like they took away that swimmer Leah Thomas's records, and
come on, Riley Gaines, come on the pod.
Yeah,
yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Couple of UK guys here, 3 UK guys here. Let's go.
Yeah,
come on, help us out.
Yeah, help us out.
Be great.
She's been a trailblazer, man. She's put up with a lot of crap too.
Yeah,
she got assaulted at like some university out in California, I think.
A couple times. It's ridiculous. Or how about that Simone Biles going after her? Like that idiot.
What a disappointment.
My absolute.
And let's be honest, like she was great. I mean, she was an icon, and then she completely let her team down the last Olympics. So
yeah,
she can piss right off as far as I'm concerned.
Moron.
Yeah.
Yep. No, there's it's definitely there's a lot to celebrate. There's some major questions as it relates to the Epstein thing. I think we all agree on that. There is a lot to celebrate, though. Tariffs 3 months ago, 4 months ago, all these economic people on the left and even some on the right, mainstream media, had you believe that this country was going to collapse financially because of Trump's tariff policies.
Yep.
When everybody now, you can find articles on CNN, if you listen to Bill Maher, if you go wherever, are all basically acknowledging none of that really happened. In fact, billions, hundreds of billions is pouring into the country, and the stock market is cruising right along. Now, when all that money is going to hit the consumer, like we talked about, I think off camera, prices haven't really still seem pretty expensive out there. Yeah, but you have to think that money eventually is going. Hopefully, eventually that'll pay off. But nonetheless, financially, as a country, it hasn't collapsed like they told us it was going to.
And honestly, man, like shame on like CNBC for, I'm going to pick them out in particular because a lot of Americans rely on them for financial advice. I have no idea why. That's the last place I would look. But they went in overdrive that weekend. If I remember correctly, I think even like Jim Cramer had a whole episode on the weekend about tariffs. And their Twitter account was just, all weekend, like, we're all going to go broke. It was just like
stock market's going to zero. All this, it's absolutely catastrophic. And you have to give Trump credit. At his State of the Union address, as it related to tariffs and all that kind of thing, he literally said, there's going to be some pains here. There's going to be some growing pains, but we're going to get through it. He literally said almost exactly that.
Yeah.
Bear with me here. And that's exactly what happens.
Everything that ever happens positively, whether it's an individual relationship or a business or anything, you have growing pains.
Yep.
We couldn't keep going the way we were going.
We have $37 trillion in debt. What are we talking about? We got Powell. I don't really think that the rate should be reduced that much, but when it comes to the debt and what we're paying on that debt, we need the rates to come down.
What really irks me is I think I saw that Trump bootlicker cat turd, who is a cat turd, posted something the other day. It's 6-7% rates aren't that bad. When I bought my first house in the 80s, rates were 14%. You would never think.
Yeah, but the house.
And I'm like, bro, the median house was $70,000.
Right.
Yeah, now it's $450,000.
Yeah,
dude,
a little bit of a different situation.
It's a problem. And I don't know what they're going to.
But how stupid are people that they just take that information and then puke it back out and don't even think?
I mean, at the end of the day, overall, what they did was force inflation. I mean, in order to make our younger population broke in hopes that we become a socialist society. I mean, you're seeing it in New York. It's just they can't afford a house. If I'm 20 years old and, I'm sitting there out on my own and I get a job and it doesn't pay for shit. I can't get married successfully and have a kid and live the life I want. I mean, they're stuck.
Yep. And this all like circles back to the original issue with like every theory we had on why the Epstein Files aren't, because we need to be America first. We need to go back to what he originally campaigned on. And I mean, I guess I could say I'm an isolationist in some regard, but like, dude, we gotta take care of our own country.
Yeah, I think though, we did say earlier in this podcast that I didn't know if we'd ever know, but the pressure is on. When you think about it, Carter, I think the pressure is on Trump to do something with this information and release it to some degree that will satisfy the American people. It's not going away. It hasn't gone away. So I think, the more I think about it, maybe we will find out some information. I don't know if we're going to get the whole truth or not, but
I hope so.
We'll get some stuff eventually, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, we got to talk about stocks. What are you guys looking at?
Here's your winner. I'm looking for one. I don't have one.
It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but I'm big on these Ethereum treasury companies. Those have been my jam. I made a lot of money the end of June, early July, and then I gave almost all of it back.
What do they do?
Now it's coming back. It's MicroStrategy, don't you? The Bitcoin treasury company.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, well,
I need some exposure. I want some exposure into crypto.
So it's a good way to do that. Basically, what they do.
You're talking like iBit, basically.
Similar, yeah.
Okay.
But they'll go and sell like this one called SharpLink. Their ticker's SBET. I love this one. They have bought 500,000 Ethereum coins in the last like 30 days. And the way they do it, they have their stock, and they actually have like an actual business. It's actually in like gambling and stuff like that. But they go out and they'll dilute their company and say, we'll go sell $200 million in SharpLink stock and raise that money. But it's not really dilution because they take that $200 million and then go buy Ethereum. So as long as Ethereum continues to climb up, it's not really dilution.
Yeah.
So you've got like MicroStrategy granted, they timed the market really well. They bought a lot of Bitcoin at like 60,000, 65,000, 70,000. Well, they're trading like based on their Bitcoin holdings, which is absolutely insane. They're trading like 1.7x of what Bitcoin is trading right now.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are kind of doing the same thing. It's like they're going out, selling their stock, buying Ethereum. And there's like two or three, I think iBit's one, SharpLink, and then another one is called Bitmine, which is BMNR. And they have the highest stake. They have like almost 900,000 Ethereum coins. So, I think you could see the same phenomenon we saw when Bitcoin just went from 60 to 100. I think we could see Ethereum go to like $5,000 or $6,000.
I bought Ethereum at like 1,600, 1,700, sold it.
Yeah.
I just was looking at it. The whole crypto thing, I just can't.
It's tough. I have a tough getting my head around it too.
Nobody can explain it.
Here's my theory on why these companies, I think, are doing the right thing. When we, like 18 months ago, I only know this because I used to invest a lot in the Bitcoin miners, made a lot, lost a lot. They were humming right along, and then all the rumors were the ETFs, they're going to get approved to trade crypto. And they did, and everybody was like, it's going to go crazy, crypto's going to go nuts. And it kind of did to some extent. But also it got way more volatile than it did because you got like Vanguard, BlackRock, all these dudes that now have all these levers to pull that they used to not. So they were just like killing crypto, bringing it. I mean, they were controlling crypto, which they never controlled it anytime until that happened. So now these guys are coming in. I think it's a way to combat the ETFs from trying to control what's going on with crypto. Because no one, dude, they do enough to manipulate our stock market. The last thing we need are those demons controlling the freaking crypto market.
Yeah.
So now that these guys are getting all these investors in and then flushing it into the crypto market, I think my opinion is it's harder for the ETFs to mess with crypto.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I have a great somebody forwarded me something about crypto. It's like almost like a Saturday Night Live skit on it, something along those lines. It's pretty funny. I'll send it to you boys offline.
I understand Bitcoin more than I understand the rest because their inventory is finite. You know, by like 2030, there's supposed to not be any Bitcoin left to mine. So that does make
Still
sense.
tough to wrap my head around the whole thing.
But what does that matter? There's only so much gold. There's only so many rocks. There's only so many anything.
If you think about it though, from like a very like 30,000 feet above perspective, like all these data mining centers, you know, you got to invest in these computers, the data centers, power, all this stuff. So when you go and buy it, you're basically like buying everything that was built, installed, power consumed, just like you're buying a car or whatever. Like you're buying whatever however much money it took to create that Bitcoin, you're investing in that. And
at the end of the day, Bitcoin's a dollar amount.
But when the supply, so right now, Bitcoin miners used to make like this one that I used to trade. It was called Clean Spark. Every month they released their production report. They used to report like we made 2,000 Bitcoin this month. Well, now it's like 700 because last year they had a halving period, which means it takes more power to make a Bitcoin.
I mean, I understand
they just have
limited
it
supply
until you can't make them anymore.
I get it, but you can't. It's stupid. The whole thing's stupid to me.
Just watch the video that I just sent you guys, which we should almost play on the podcast because I think because I just can't wrap my head around it either. But
there's nothing to wrap your head around. It's just a bunch of morons that think it's like, and I want to get in on the game because I'm sitting there like,
you want to make money.
Like millions of dollars and it's getting pumped. I'm like,
Tim, buy SharpLink, SBET. That's the ticker.
SBET.
Yeah. I'll just give you numbers are important. So I own a little bit of Bitmine, which is BMNR. It's up 30% today.
I own some iBit.
But here's the thing. SharpLink, SBET, when I say SharpLink, that's SBET. It's only up 4% today. But here's what's confusing. Bitmine's market cap is $5 billion. They own $3 billion in Ethereum. So they're trading $2 billion above their ETH holdings. SBET owns $2 billion and their market cap is $3 billion. So there's some sort of, and SBET has like an actual business beyond their Ethereum holdings. So
you're just saying it's a better value than the other one.
I think so.
SBET.
Yeah, but I think they could both just be frauds. I want in on the game. I just want a quick pump. I want 100 times my money.
Here's what I do. And shame on me for not like pulling the ripcord when I should have on the Bitcoin miners because I had a great year.
Here's SBET's ticker. It's gone down significantly since.
Oh, I know. I got in it.
There it is, right there.
I told you it's been a roller coaster.
I'm buying that, Carter.
Oh gosh, it was at one point it was about $1,200 a share or whatever the hell.
1,200. When was that?
2021, man. 2021.
Oh, yeah. I've only been playing that for like.
Now it's sitting at $23.
The only important chart is the last 3 months.
Okay, the last.
I bought some here. I bought some there. Got crushed. Then I bought a bunch here and then climbed back up.
Well, in June though, in June it was at $79. Now it's at $23.92. Yeah.
I wasn't in it in June. I wish I was.
Hey, all I know is you're right, though. 5 years ago, it was at.
But the whole company is transformed basically in June. So basically, here's what's weird, though. When they initially announced they were going to an Ethereum treasury, it went from like $2 to like 30.
Yeah, I see. I'm looking at it
Then
right now.
2 weeks later, they announced that they closed it, and it got crushed back down to 9. But it was like everyone thought. I think whoever had the swing or the stick to swing thought, "Oh my gosh, they just sold all this stock. It's only worth $7 or whatever this issuance was." But they didn't realize it was the announcement from 2 weeks prior. So I just loaded the bolt at like $9. Then it went back to 30. Sold some there. I bought some back at like 27, thinking I was a genius, and it went to 19. I was like, oh, and now it's climbing back up. But
SharpLink raises $200 million in direct offering to raise Ethereum holdings to $2 billion.
Yep, at $19.50 a share.
Hey, all I know is right now it is at $24 a share. What is that? $23.92.
I sold some while we were talking.
All I can say is, what if it goes back up to that 1137 that it was at in 2020? I don't know, 2021.
Then we'd have plenty of money to market our podcast and get.
There we go. Then we have money to track down Riley Gaines and get her on here.
That's right.
And that's
how maybe I can pay for an investigation into the Epstein Files.
There we go. Hey boys, it ain't gonna be 7 weeks before our next podcast.
No, we can't do that again.
We're not doing that again. We're not doing that again.
No.
But I do. I think this is a good place to stop.
Yeah,
and yeah, we're reconvening sooner rather than later. Buy SBET. All right. Well, I
sold half my stuff just in case the theory.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, we are not financial advice.
I'm going to put $1,000 in it and just bank and see what happens. And then on episode 12, hopefully,
stands for
I'm a degenerate trader, so take everything I say with a grain of salt.
All right, I'll put $1,000 in it though, just for the heck of it.
There you go, baby. Come on.
All right.
Buy it on Monday.
All right, boys.
Later.
See you guys.
Have a good weekend. Happy Friday.
You too.
Sounds good.